Now I hope you can hear me. Okay. So one is in question and answer thing. I think just let it download. Show conversation. Okay. So I'm just sharing you the link which they have made. Okay, on Team. So I have shared the 4 PPTs I have completed before. 4 PPTs are there: theory of demand, theory of supply, elasticity of supply, and elasticity of demand. So this link is over here. I hope you will find the PPTs over here. मैं ManQ का PDF भी share करूँगी. I did not share till now, but I will share it. Like when we will end the class. And another thing, yeah, today we will actually deal with we have already discussed about application in theory of demand and theory of the supply itself. So we will talk about exceptions of the law of demand, and then we will move toward the indifference curve. Okay, there are 2 PPTs I am gonna share. I hope you can see this PPT, that is exceptions of law of demand. So when we were talking about the law of demand, what did it say? Like the price will increase and the quantity demanded will be decreasing. So when we talk about the exceptions, so there are some goods, which they like don't actually follow the rule of law of demand. That is what goods that obey the law of demand are normal good. मतलब जो भी actually rules follow कर रहे हैं उनको बोले normal good. But there are goods which don't obey the law of demand. Like as we are saying, the price will increase, the quantity demanded will be decreasing. But कुछ goods ऐसे होते हैं where it won't happen. Such goods are like either या तो superior goods हैं or inferior goods. So there are 2 extremes. Like normal goods जो हैं वो normally जो law of demand है that they follow. But the superior goods or inferior goods, they don't follow that sort of a normal good. Up named as weapon or giffen goods respectively. अब देखो क्या होता है, weapon goods. If I suggest you about or I'll give you an example of Rolls Royce का देखता है. Rolls Royce अगर और costly होती जाएगी, people who can afford Rolls Royce car, they will go for that. The demand, the law of demand will not be there. As because the prices are increasing and the demand of Rolls Royce should be decreasing, but no, it won't happen because that is a weapon good, like extreme. It is showing your status symbol or like something else. So that is a superior good. So that generally does not follow the law of demand. But when we talk about inferior goods, you can just think about the lower quality product. So when the low quality product, the price of that sort of a product increases, you tend to buy that. You don't decrease the quantity which you are consuming of inferior good. You try to like increase the quantity demanded. So that is inferior. Inferior is like a low quality product or whatever. Okay. So now babbling goods, maybe we can just consider as Rolex or Lamborghini or whatever the luxury car, Rolls Royce and all. We can just talk about that. So babbling goods are like actually those goods who does not follow the general law of demand, but they are like a status symbol. So as the price will increase, the quantity demanded of these products will increase. So generally they don't follow the law of demand. The babbling goods are things like primarily bought to show off the wealth. When you want to show off the wealth, definitely you want to show off that okay, that much is like that much price I can afford. So it is just a show off. Extent to which the demand for a consumer produced product increases, owing to that fact, it be at a higher price than other commodities. So you are actually going for unique things. Suppose karo antique hai. If there is some antique product and its price is like such high product, you just want to be unique and you just want to show, see, I can afford, this sort of antique. So that is a show-off effect. So if the price decreases, then more people can afford it and then you will not be unique. So in that case, like the phenomenon of snob effect is extent to which demand of a commodity is decreased owing to the fact that number of people are using the same commodity. Snob effect means agar antiques like you are just keeping it as a unique way, So अगर सभी लोग अफोर्ड करने लग जाएंगे उसको, so it will be a common thing and you don't want to go for the common thing. तो स्नॉब इफेक्ट क्या होता है, like अगर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग उसको अपने पास like they are just consuming it or they are just keeping it, then it won't matter for you. चीज़ की uniqueness that will matter for you. That's why then you will spend the money on that. So that is called Veblen good or Veblen effect. Okay, so जितनी common चीज़ होती जाएगी then you don't want to keep it. That is a snob effect. So snob effect and Veblen effect क्या बोलते हैं? As the price of the commodity increases, the product demand increases. So here law of demand won't work. अब हम आते हैं ostentatious like consumption पे. Examples are luxury items like perfumes, luxury cars, designer clothes और handbags जितने होते हैं. So they are all the examples of the Veblen. Satisfaction increases due to the possession of the high priced good. मतलब definitely उनका simple selection ही इसलिए किया जा रहा है because they are high priced ones. They are not common. So the demand for the product is a direct function of its price. So जैसे जैसे prices बढ़ेगा, sometimes generally अगर मैं आप लोगों को example दूँ, in your normal terms, sometime when you are like purchasing the cosmetics, you just tend to look at the price, and sometime you think, okay, the price is higher, maybe that is like much better cosmetic than the lower price one. So that sort of tendency is there. So here law of demand doesn't work. So higher the price, higher the demand of that product. So have a high income elasticity of demand. इसमें high income elasticity of demand, what does it say? जितना ज़्यादा income होगा, your demand of that sort of a product will increase with income. So that means थोड़ी सी भी income बढ़ी, आपका जो demand है इस तरह के products के लिए बहुत increase हो जाएगा. So that is ostentatious consumption. We will try to have that sort of a good more, which prices like whose prices are high. Okay. So income elasticity of babbling goods का अगर हम देखें तो obviously babbling goods के लिए भी that is the thing. Babbling goods के लिए भी as the income will increase, we will try to go for the babbling goods. Like then we will try to show off more. So normal goods जो है उनका positive income elasticity of demand होता है. As the income rises, then definitely the demand rises. In normal goods also, there are two type of goods. One is necessity, definitely, and another one is luxury. So necessity and luxury में like suppose करो जो necessity है, even as income increases, our marginal propensity to consume लेकर चले तो वो कम होगी. But the thing is, necessity जैसे जितना भी हमारी income बढ़ रही है, तो we will go for more purchasing. Now the luxuries के लिए elasticity ज़्यादा होती है. Like necessities के लिए तो same रहेगी, approx 1 ही रहेगी. Like जितना आपका elasticity between 0 to 1, 0 से 1 तक रहेगी बस elasticity. Means like obviously the demand for necessities will change, but not beyond 1. Like suppose करो अगर आपकी income 10% increase हुई है, so there will be a less than 10% or till 10% increase in the necessities demand. But luxuries के बारे में देखा जाए तो luxuries की demand हमेशा greater than 1 होती है. Suppose करो your income increased by 10%, but for the luxury items, the demand will increase by 15%. So it will be more than 1. So for example, here 8% increase in income might lead to a 16% rise in demand for the restaurant meals. And obviously आप देखते हो कि जैसे जैसे आपकी income बढ़ती है, you tend to go out much. When your income is very less, you don't go out. You don't want to spend money on like eating outside. But when your income increases, you tend to go for that luxury restaurant meals. So the income elasticity of demand here is like 2. So demand is highly sensitive to the income. So here, when we are talking about the luxury, maybe whatever the item it is or luxury service it is, we will try to have more sort of that luxury. So as our income increases by like 10%, maybe our demand for the luxury will be much higher than 10%. So that means income elasticity of babbling goods are very high. Up suppose karo, owning a car was once a luxury. Now nobody gets for brands and were once considered luxury. So sometime even that changes. Up first like Alto used to be a luxury, but right now it's not a luxury anymore. So owning a car, sometimes it's a necessity for you rather than being like having the luxury. Suppose karo, if you are living in a remote area or somewhere, or like maybe when you talk about like commute in Delhi, like from your home place to your workplace, then you need to have your personal vehicle, especially after the COVID situation. When we are looking for the transport, like public transport, then we need to have our car. So like it becomes a necessity rather than the luxury. So if you have car, it's just a necessity. So with time, the situation of like what you are considering as a luxury, it changes. So that totally depends upon like now the vanity bag concept of vanity bag. It's a long gone now. So sometimes trends matter, and trends changes the that whatever the desire or demand of the particular product. So they have given like a designer handbags abhi aa gaya, like vanity bag we don't use much. So I'm just giving an example. Watches are becoming a status symbol than a utilitarian good. Like pehle jo watches hoti thi, you used to wear, that used to be a necessity that you have to actually see the time. But now it it becomes like a utilitarian good. Like you want to just show it, like what sort of a watch you are wearing. Even though the purpose of a watch is just to show time, but which brand you are using in watches, that matters. So it's like a snob effect or Veblen effect is there. So whenever we try to look at the demand of some particular good, we need to see the exceptions also where the law of demand is not working at all. So these are just exceptions. So hot culture dresses पहले बहुत ज़्यादा expensive होती थी, but now it doesn't matter because the fashion had gone. So sometime, now we will talk about giffen goods. Giffen goods means public transport, potato, or low quality cereal or low quality rice. So giffen goods क्या होते हैं? Whenever our income is increasing, our demand for these goods will decrease. अगर हमारी income बढ़ रही है, we will try to have a cab. We will not go by the bus. We will not consume much of the potato. We will more consume maybe cheese or something else, and we will purchase the better quality of cereal. So giffen good is what? Low quality product, very cheap product, So as our income increases, the demand for given good decreases. So here that income effect is negative for given goods. It's not positive. For luxury goods and for normal goods, it's positive, because just as income बढ़ रही है, you tend to purchase luxury goods and whatever necessity goods or normal goods, whatever. But here, income effect is negative. If your income is increasing, you don't use the low quality product at all. Now, the given good is a good that which decreases in demand when consumer income rises. So income elasticity is less than 0. So here, income elasticity जो कि 0 की, जो हमने babbling goods के case में देखी थी, that was much higher, more than even 1. But given good के case में, that was like negative. So given goods can be categorized into 3. Now we will talk about, I'm just telling you because later on we will use given goods, at many places. So you should be understanding about the Victorian, like that is what do we say, given good. So one is necessary staple goods. Victorian society में क्या होता था? Purchasing tendency of the poor Victorian subjects, like when price of the necessity staple goods such as bread, food, grain, vegetables rose, the poorer section concentrated all their purchasing power on the procuring the necessary staples. So what does it say? जैसे given good का prices बढ़ना शुरू होता है, people tend to go towards that. अब suppose करो कि potato का price बढ़ने लगता है, people tend to go towards the potato. So that is the given good. Like अगर जो low quality product है उसका price बढ़ रहा है, तो the tendency of that demand for that particular good increases. तो विक्टोरियन सोसाइटी में क्या हुआ था? विक्टोरियन सोसाइटी में लाइक ब्रेड और फूड ग्रेन या वेजिटेबल्स के जो प्राइसेस बढ़े थे, तो सब लोगों ने अपना जो कंजम्पशन, दैट लाइक परचेजिंग पावर जो थी, मैक्सिमम ऑफ अमाउंट दे स्पेंडेड फॉर प्रोक्योरिंग द नेसेसरी स्टेपल्स, नाउ गेव अप ऑन परचेजिंग अदर गुड्स. दे गेव अप टोटली अदर लाइक दूसरी गुड्स को खरीदना बिल्कुल बंद कर दिया था. So this kept the demand for these goods high despite of an increase in the price. So that is the exception of demand. Like even if the price of that product increased, the demand for that product also increased, because people tend to go towards that. Like prices बढ़ रहा है, so sometimes they start procuring that. So even we had seen at the COVID time, जब हुआ था तो COVID time में we were like procuring a lot of necessities with us. Tendency अचानक से क्या हुई थी कि maybe the prices may increase, और prices अगर बढ़ भी रहे थे, then also we were purchasing that particular things. और यहाँ पर like I'll give you other examples also. अब now Irish society में people were so poor, as the price of the potato rose, they started substituting potato a dietary staple for meal and other unnecessary luxuries. So they started actually purchasing potatoes जब potato का price बढ़ गया. So that is the like thing कि जब भी whenever the price of these given goods are increasing, the demand for given goods are increasing. So they consume more. Chinese society की बात करते हैं. Chinese society में what happened? They consume more rice or noodles, their staples, as prices go up. So they tend to go towards these sort of staples. Now people use a certain amount of calories to go, so that's why they try to maintain that sort of a calorie. So they eat rice instead, which is relatively cheap compared to meat. So but this is given behavior in action. Like suppose करो अगर meat का prices भी बढ़ रहा है, पर rice का prices भी बढ़ रहा है, so there you will actually curb the meat and you will go for the rice because you need particular calories to have, and you have the habit of that particular thing in your diet. So that's why like the demand for the given good, that is rice here in that case, like when we are comparing rice with meat. So rice is a given good, but still the demand of rice had increased. So we are just talking about the exceptions over here, jahan par normal law of demand won't work. I hope that is clear to you guys. Like I'll just see the question and answer in between. Now the inferior good is what? Just like given good. Dekho, every inferior good is not the given good, but every given good is an inferior good. So these are like which the demand rises when the price to procure that form a relatively substantial part of the buyer's income without eating into the amount of like income aside and the consumption of other regular items. यहाँ पर cheaper cars are examples of the inferior good. Still generally prefer the cheaper cars when their income is like constricted. So mostly क्या होता है, cheaper cars का अभी भी like demand is much higher, or whenever like people try to increase their income, they will just go for the cheaper cars first. As the income increases, the demand for cheap cars will decrease, but while demand of costly cars will increase. यहाँ पर cheap cars जो हैं inferior goods हैं. Still people go for it. And intercity bus service is also an example of an inferior good. This form of transportation is cheaper than air or rail travel. But whenever your income increases, you don't use these sort of, you want to have a flight, or you want to have your cab, come to pick you up. So when money is constricted, traveling by bus becomes more acceptable. So जब money कम है आपके पास, then you think, okay, now I should use bus. But when you have more money, you won't go for the public transport bus. So, but when money is more abundant than time, more rapid transport is preferred. Then you will prefer the cabs, So inexpensive food like hamburger, mass market beer, frozen dinners, and canned goods. So इनका क्या होता है? As income rises, one tends to purchase more expensive, appealing, and nutritious product rather than the inferior products. So some inferior goods are so consistent that they can be seen as economic indicators. One such example is instant noodles. Like suppose instant noodle is not that which is giving you some nutritional value. It is actually sort of that inferior good, but still you purchase that, and like the price will increase. You will tend to go for noodles only, instant noodles. So the thing is, what we are trying to understand, there are some exceptions of law of demand which does not work in real world. So we have to just know, and we can just see around, and we can find lots of examples like that. Now the experience goods. Experience goods what? The utility and the quality of certain goods and services can be observed and decided only after the product, when you use that sort of product. In such case, a drop in price is often interpreted as a drop in quality. Like suppose, Karo, if you're going to a saloon and the prices you find very economic, but then later on you find that price had decreased, then you must be thinking that okay, the quality of the services here is not that good. I think the quality of some other salmon services must be much better who have the higher prices. So sometimes experience goods also, they that defy the law of demand. So bandwagon effect is like as a positive network externalities, because as more people demanded for the commodity, individual demand for the same commodity also increases. So it's like example also like when your peer group is purchasing some particular brand and they like that sort of brand. So to keep up with the Jonases, like it just says that you want to be the part of the group, and then you also purchases that sort of a thing. So here in bandwagon effect also, we don't see that law of demand follows. People that possess these quality likes to be similar with the society and hate to be left out. So definitely I give the example of the peer group. You want to be the part of the group, then you will tend to use that sort of a thing. You will purchase that. And a snob effect we have already talked, also called as negative network externality, because as more people demanded. देखो क्या होता है ना, यहाँ पर snob effect आप just ले सकते हो antique को लेकर, okay? So more people जितना demand करेंगे, उसकी demand individual की decrease हो जाएगी, because you want to be like have that uniqueness with yourself. You want to purchase that uniqueness, not the commodity actually. So here, in the case of antiques, you can have that sort of a snob effect. Now, snobs likes to be exclusive. That you want to actually purchase that is something is very exclusive. So we'll have more satisfaction in the items he consumes is the only one that exists in the market. So you want to be very unique. So babbling effect kya hai? This is explained by the demand of the luxury commodities when as price increases, individual demand also increases. So that is a like show off thing. So babbling effect kya hota hai? Show offs ko lekar hota hai. Now, even though we can see babbling effect and snob effect are similar, but they are a little bit different. In a snob में क्या है? Snob में actually dependent on the number of commodity demanded in the market. तो मतलब जितनी कम demand है उसके market में, like that will depend on that. Maybe antique हर कोई पसंद नहीं करता, very like a few demand of antiques are there. Like people who have a specific choice, they have like artistic inclination towards antiques. Only those people will go for the snob effect. But however, Babylon effect is what? The price of the luxury items. Like a snob-induced demand curve is still downward sloping, while the demand for commodity that is used for conspicuous consumption is upward sloping. मतलब जितना Rolls Royce का price बढ़ता जाएगा, still Rolls Royce के price बढ़ने पर we will try to have more of, we want to have the more demand of it. So Babylon is what? To show off. Snob effect is what? We want to be exclusive. So obviously इसका downward sloping demand का होगा, but still snob effect is like which does not follow the normal rule of flow or demand. Okay. So I hope that is clear. I'll just stop presenting this one, and I will share the different indifference curve analysis slide with you guys. First, can I see if you have something in chat? I hope you had seen the link of the team group which I had shared. Ma'am, please syllabus for more time. Ma'am, our exams will be open book exam. Guys, even I don't know about that. OB exam honge or offline exam honge. But now we are trying to move towards the that no lockdown phases, and we want to open the colleges also. So let's see. That I cannot answer right now. That is like very uncertain also, and I don't have any idea about it. Ma'am, please tell us syllabus. Ma'am, please send the group link. I have shared the group link again. I'll just make an announcement over here if I can, right? So this is the link of the group over here. Okay, guys. Here you come. I have already shared my 4 PPTs over there. And I will share the syllabus and the reading which is required, that Mankey reading of microeconomics. I will share that also. Okay. So till now, if you have questions and exceptions of demand, yeah, that's good. You guys are joining. Okay. So I'm just seeing the notifications. Okay, lots of notifications. Ma'am, send the group link. I have shared now. Ma'am, can you zoom the screen? Okay, I will try to go for that what do we say, slideshow. But in slideshow, whenever I have to go back and do it again and again. But I will try to do that. That is there any kind of assignment that we have to make? Yes, definitely assignment you have to make, and that will be, I think, announced on the website itself. Group link I have shared. No WhatsApp group. I'm sorry guys, no WhatsApp and Telegram group. My phone does not have the space at all. Pattern of the Eco Sam 1 exam. Normal pattern will be there, like normal longer questions or short questions will be there. You'll be given the choice like this much of questions you have to attempt. So like old question papers will be, like I think it should be available on the website itself. Bandwagon effect is what? Bandwagon effect means, keep up with the Jonases. Like, तुम्हारे 4 friends हैं, and you are going to the college, and you are seeing that someone is using Zara, and like other person is also liking Zara, third person is also liking Zara. Then you want to be the part of that group. Then you will yourself purchase Zara products. So that is bandwagon effect. Means like keep up with the Jonases. Like you want to be the part of the group. You don't want to be left out. So if some your peer group is more inclined towards the branded products, then you will tend to go towards the branded product purchase. So that is a bandwagon effect. I hope that is clear, Shivi. Ma'am, added in the WhatsApp group. Ma'am, class offline हो गया online. देखो अभी तो online चल रही है. जब offline होगी तब offline करेंगे. But that notification will be there. Don't be impatient even we don't know. Like we teachers don't know about the situation still. We are thinking that it will happen, but when will it happen? We don't know about that. So right now I am sharing another slide that is indifference curve. So indifference curve, it will happen to the that I think I should use the marginal utility first. I think that is better. So okay, just give me some time. I will share some other PPT with you guys. That is a theory of consumer behavior first, just to make you understand about the indifference curve. If I directly move to the indifference curve, you will not understand about the marginal utility concept. So I think that is also necessary. Just give me some time. Like it is opening, and I'll share that. So we will talk about not indifference curve as such, but theory of consumer behavior, and from theory of consumer behavior, we will reach to the indifference curve. So that is the first part. Okay, I want to make you understand that first, because if we will take step by step, that will help. That will help in understanding. Again, just a moment. Okay. Yeah, theory of consumer behavior. I hope it is clear. Yeah, I hope you can see it, guys. So in theory of consumer behavior, what will we see? First, introduction, like marginal utility analysis, we will see ordinal utility, we will see concept of consumer behavior, budget line, and then we will go towards the indifference curve analysis and consumer equilibrium. Okay, so consumer behavior means like what sort of a consumer, what sort of behavior he will show. Like whenever you decide about something, whatever you want to demand something, then you have particular behavior or particular choice towards that. So there are some factors which determine your demand for a particular product. So these determinants are price of the commodity. Like if you think, like if you will be demanding some particular thing, the price of the commodity will matter. Other prices also, like the prices of other commodity will also matter, maybe substitutes. In your income will be mattering at that time. Your taste and preferences will matter. Income distribution will matter. Total population, like then obviously when the population is increasing, the demand will be increasing. Wealth and government policy also, they are different factors which determine individual demand. Like you have to understand a consumer behavior yourself, and you can just correlate it with yourself. And from here, I will try to make it a slide. Like a PowerPoint has started. Okay, I'm so sorry guys, like I can just do it, but again and again I have to go back to that slide, and I think it will take time too. Just that I wanted to avoid. That's what I wasn't doing the Zoom thing. Just let me press escape. I hope I can go back. Those things are with team, Microsoft team. I really want to Astro to use some other software. I'm not at all happy with this sort of whatever happens. I don't like the software at all. I'm sorry, I'm saying live just because of one thing. It's okay. I have actually handed all the PPTs. Just a minute. I'll just open it again. Don't worry. So theory of consumer choice, like consumer behavior. Why do we need to actually go for the consumer behavior study? Because it matters. When we will know about the consumer only, then we will know like what to produce and how to produce. only then we will be producing the particular product when we will see that consumer is inclined towards that. And if the prices of that product increases, then how the consumer will behave. So it is very important to know about the consumer behavior. I'll just share. Got a print. I'm sorry, dear, whoever said to me to zoom it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that again because I will lose it again. Yeah, I hope it is again available for you guys. Yeah. So to start with this, like the traditional theory of demand emphasizes on consumers' demand for durable and non-durable goods. So traditional theory says it does not deal with the investment goods. We are just talking about a durable or non-durable good. Investment goods we are not talking about. So it is only a fraction of the total demand in the economy as a whole. The market demand is assumed to be the summation of the demand of the individual customers, like whatever one person is demanding, what other person, and whatever the n number of person, and then we are summating the demand of the market. So if a consumer gets more utility from a commodity, he would be willing to pay a higher price or vice versa. So it just depends upon our satisfaction level, whatever we are drawing from consumption of a 1 unit of commodity. So that will depend upon the satisfaction we are drawing, and then we will be able and we will be willing to give that much of price. If we know that we are getting the more satisfaction, then we will be able to or willing to give more price for that commodity. So now we will talk about the definitions first, that is utility. What is utility? Utility is want satisfying power of a commodity. Means that much utility we are getting from any particular commodity. So it's a want satisfying power, which varies from person to person. Maybe your utility of an apple may be different of like my utility from an apple. So the concept of utility is ethically neutral, harmful, and useful things are like both considered. The value in use of a commodity is the satisfaction. Means how much one apple is in use for you, and how much that apple is in use for me. So that sort of satisfaction we are getting from the consumption of that one apple. So what sort of utility we are getting. Now the marginal utility means the additional utility derived from an additional unit of a commodity. Like suppose right now we have one apple. We are just increasing one more apple, like we have second apple now. So the second apple, how much satisfaction it is increasing? It is increasing our satisfaction, or if we have third apple, if we have fourth apple, like how they're gonna create the satisfaction for us. So the marginal utility means whatever the addition is made in the total utility, like of consumption, that extra unit of commodity is giving what sort of satisfaction. So we are just calculating that marginal utility, which is actually generated by the additional unit of that commodity. So total utility is what? Jitni bhi, like first apple se kitna satisfaction mila, second and third and fourth and fifth, sabse kitna satisfaction mila, the total utility. So marginal is what? Like second se kitna mila. Or if we are adding the third one, then how much we are getting from the third apple? Then how much utility we are getting from the fourth apple? That is a marginal utility. But when we are talking about a total utility, like each apple is giving us some utility and we will summate it. We will do a sum. So the sum of utility derived from the different units of a commodity consumed by a consumer, the amount of utility derived from the consumption of all units of a commodity which are at the disposal of the consumer. So jitni bhi commodity wo consume kar raha hai. Now we will talk about the marginal utility analysis in between. Just let me have a sip of water. What is marginal utility? So the theory jo thi formulated by Alfred Marshall, it is he was a British economist. He seeks to explain how a consumer spends his income on different goods and services and as to attain maximum satisfaction. So yahan par, like if you can just see this example, see this slide, you're just seeing that he's having a cola, I think, and cola when he had taken, so cola later uska like satisfaction is very high over here. If you can see my cursor, guys, the satisfaction from cola is like this much, and he did not take the cola. Right now he had taken the cola, so this much of cola is already there. So his satisfaction decreased and he is having the second cola. So from second cola, his satisfaction will be decreasing. Now from third cola, because his stomach is totally full and his satisfaction from the third cola is zero. He is not getting any satisfaction. So what does it mean? Suppose if you are thirsty and you are having one glass of water, then you drank that one glass of water and you are having the maximum satisfaction because it actually decrease your thirst or whatever. So you had the maximum satisfaction. Now you are having the second glass of water when your stomach is already a little bit filled up. So from second glass of water, you will not have that sort of a satisfaction which you had from the first glass of water. And when you will go for third glass of water, your stomach is like totally full. You're just drinking the water. You are not having much satisfaction. And now when you are served with like fourth glass of water, you will say, no, I cannot have it anymore. And now it is giving me a negative satisfaction. I cannot have one more glass of water. So there, like the fourth glass of water actually created the negative marginal utility. Like marginal utility became negative over there when you are not having any satisfaction. And first, like you are having a one glass of water and then you are thirsty. So your marginal utility is actually decreasing by addition of one unit. So for marginal utility analysis, we will say that we will make some assumptions first. Assumption what? Utility is based on the cardinal concept. Means cardinal means how much number of utility, how much number of commodities we are using. So utility is measurable and additive of goods. Suppose करो यहाँ पे cardinal concept means we know that suppose करो one apple is equal to 10 rupees का एक apple है, and then we are getting the 10 rupees का utility from an apple. So just monetary terms में whatever we had given the number 10. So utility is measurable and additive of goods. Like we can measure the utility and we can we can addition it, summate it. So the marginal utility of money is assumed to be constant. देखो यहाँ पर हमने constant इसलिए लिया because when you had the one glass of water, whatever you paid for it, we are not calculating over here कि what you paid for the second glass and what you paid for the third glass, or in apple example what you paid for the third apple or fourth apple. So here we are not considering about the money at all because marginal utility of money, अब जितना money देते जाएंगे तो definitely we don't want to spend more. So that is a general consumer behavior. So the marginal utility of money यहाँ पे हम constant लेके चलते हैं. That is just an assumption. अब जो hypothesis है, that is of independent utility, the consumer is rational. Rational means he has all the knowledge. He knows that from which commodity I will get the more satisfaction, from which commodity I will get the less satisfaction, and he has the full knowledge of the availability of the commodities or its qualities के बारे में. So he is very well aware of the commodities and its qualities. Now it possesses perfect knowledge of the choice of the commodity. Now there are no substitutes, and utilities are not influenced by the variation in their price. The theory ignores complementary between the goods. Now theory complementary goods जो भी हैं वो यहाँ पर consider नहीं करते, and there are no substitutes also. We are not even considering the substitutes. So utility जो है वो even prices से भी variate होंगे तो उससे भी different नहीं होगी. So that's what we had made some assumptions. Now the law of diminishing marginal utility means as we gonna increase the consumption of the units, consumption of the commodity with more units, the marginal utility will decrease. So that is called law of diminishing marginal utility. What does it say? The law of diminishing marginal utility is based on the human wants. Law किसने किया था develop? German economist Arora Gossin ने, which is known as Gossin's first law भी इसको बोलते हैं, but it was popularized by Alfred Marshall. So जो H.H. Gossin ने दिया था ये German economist ने, but popularized by Alfred Marshall, तो हम इसको mostly Marshall का ही बोलते हैं. But I think additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. Suppose again मैं एक example देती हूँ that you had one ice cream and then you had second ice cream, then you had third ice cream, and with first ice cream you were very happy, and then you became less happy, and then you became lesser and lesser happy, and then you became sad. No, you cannot have any more ice creams. So with every unit, your marginal utility of that product, of that ice cream will diminish. मतलब धीरे धीरे जो first से satisfaction आया and बाद में जो second से satisfaction आया, that will decrease. So assumptions क्या हैं? Assumptions here, taste is preference of the consumer remain constant. Means यहाँ पर we are not saying कि now you are having one ice cream of vanilla and one ice cream of chocolate. We are not saying your taste and preference for vanilla ice cream will be there and it will be same. Income of the consumer also remains same. मतलब income भी change नहीं हुई आपकी. Unit of the good are identical. मतलब जितना आपने first vanilla ice cream consume करी वही second vanilla ice cream consume करी and same quantity में. So like जो goods आप consume कर रहे हो वो identical है, similar है. The process of consumption is continuous. मतलब आप at one particular time you are consuming these things. अगर आप अलग अलग पे करोगे मतलब suppose करो सुबह एक आइसक्रीम खाइए शाम एक आइसक्रीम खाइए तो that won't matter. Here your consumption is continuous. Now units of the goods are not very small in size. मतलब हम ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि just छोटा सा one scoop or one spoon आप ले रहे हो. We are saying not very small in size. You are consuming the whole cup of vanilla or a whole cone of vanilla, whatever you want to assume. So the importance is framing the taxation policy of the government. Taxation policy में क्यों कहती है? If there is an increase in taxation, then what kind of marginal utility will you be having from your extra unit of taxation? Like obviously when your tax will increase, you will have to give up more and more income, and then you don't want to do that. So useful to the consumer to regulate his expenditure. and useful to the monopolist producer to fixing the price. Have now the basis of the law of demand, differentiate value in use and value in exchange. So normal importance है law of diminishing marginal utility का. But now first again we will see the explanation. Okay, suppose a person consumes the first apple, he derives the highest level of utility, and the intensity of his desire declines. क्योंकि अब जो first apple से उसको satisfaction मिला था वो दूसरे से नहीं मिला. If he consumes the second apple, he will get lesser satisfaction than first apple. The utility that he gets from the third apple will be still less. If he continues to consume more and more apples, utility from each apple goes on diminishing. So, thus the law of diminishing marginal utility हमें simply क्या बताता है? It tells us we obtain less and less marginal utility from the successive units whatever we will consume. Maybe वो successive units water की हो, glass of water की, वो successive units में भी ज़्यादा ice creams की हो और whatever. इसलिए हम लोग को यहाँ बोला भी जाता है ना कि किसी चीज की ज्यादा लेना भी किसी चीज का बुरा होता है. Like it is the same sort of economic concept. When we are actually trying to have more and more of something, our satisfaction from that thing decreases. Now graphical representation is what? Total utility. Here you can see the unit of apple consumes. यहाँ पे आप apple की जगह you can take ice creams or you can take a glass of water, whatever. So when you will see the units are increasing. Like पहले 1, फिर 2 हो गई, फिर 3 unit, third आ गई, फिर 4th unit आ गई, फिर 5th आ गई. Total utility क्या होता है? Total utility is increasing. Total utility भी एक particular time तक increase होगी जब तक you are having the successive units. Means first unit से आपको satisfaction मिला 8, second unit से में भी आपको third मतलब second दोनों units का आपने combine कर दिया. अब आप 13 में से 8 का minus करोगे, you will see marginal मतलब जो second unit से आपको satisfaction हो वो थोड़ा कम हो गया, third unit से और कम हो गया, fourth unit से कम and fifth unit पे आके 0 हो गया. Now you cannot have any more apple. It is negative. So here you will see जो टोटल यूटिलिटी है दैट इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड देन डिमिनिशिंग, बट जो मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी है वो कम होती जा रही है पहले. मतलब यहाँ पे वो 0 पे पहुंची एंड देन उसके बाद नेगेटिव हो गई. सो वी आर जस्ट मेकिंग द कर्व व्हेन आवर मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी इज 0 वी हैव मैक्सिमम टोटल यूटिलिटी. मतलब अब हमारा टमी इतना फुल हो चुका है, वी आर नॉट हैविंग एनी सेटिस्फेक्शन फ्रॉम द सक्सेसिव यूनिट एंड दैट इज अ टोटल यूटिलिटी वी कैन हैव. अगर अब इससे भी ज्यादा हम कंज्यूम कर लेते हैं तो मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी हमारी नेगेटिव हो जाएगी और हमारी टोटल यूटिलिटी भी डिक्रीज हो जाएगी बिकॉज हमारे पेट में दर्द हो जाएगा. I hope that you can understand, like I'm just giving you the general examples. So the explanation of the graph is total utility declines at a positive rate, मतलब total utility पहले increase हो रही है and then it is declining. But marginal utility है declines in a negative rate, मतलब वो second unit से ही decrease होना शुरू हो जाती है. So total utility rises by smaller amounts. Now the negative slope of the marginal utility curve reflects the law of diminishing marginal utility. एक जो सैचुरेशन पॉइंट आता है जहां पर टोटल यूटिलिटी चेंज ही नहीं हो रही है पर मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी है जो डिक्लाइनिंग होती जाती है धीरे धीरे. तो एक सैचुरेशन पॉइंट आता है, वी डोंट वांट टू हैव एनी मोर एप्पल और एनी मोर आइसक्रीम और एनी मोर ग्लास ऑफ वाटर. सो दैट इज अ सैचुरेशन पॉइंट. अब देखो जब भी हम कोई लॉ पढ़ते हैं या एनी थ्योरी वी रीड, वी हैव टू नो अबाउट द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ दैट थ्योरी. सो डिफरेंट यूनिट्स कंज्यूम्ड मस्ट बी आइडेंटिकल. देखो हम यहाँ पर बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे जो भी हम यूनिट्स कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं एप्पल की सेम साइज में होना चाहिए, सेम टेस्ट होना चाहिए, सेम चीजें होनी चाहिए. तो हमारा कुछ भी चीज चेंज नहीं हो रही है. लाइक आवर हैबिट इज नॉट चेंजिंग, आवर टेस्ट इज नॉट चेंजिंग, आवर इनकम एंड ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द कंज्यूमर इज नॉट चेंजिंग. नाउ द डिफरेंट यूनिट्स कंज्यूम्ड शुड बी स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट्स. मतलब हम उनको स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट की तरह लेके चल रहे हैं कि सब चीजें बराबर हैं. तो लाइक कंटिन्यूअस कंजम्पशन मतलब वी आर नॉट हैविंग, जैसे हमने एक आइसक्रीम खाई, हमने अगले टाइम ही फर्स्ट के फिनिश होती सेकंड आइसक्रीम ले ली. सो एट अ we are doing it with a no gap, we are consuming it at a continuous time. अब law does not apply to the articles like gold, cash, money, music. मतलब वो तो जितना आपको मिल जाए उतना कम है. मतलब वहाँ पर तो your satisfaction will be increasing because that is has a different value. So अगर आपका gold या wealth बढ़ता है तो definitely you will be having the different sort of satisfaction there. So यहाँ पर ये limitations है. The shape of the utility curve may be affected by the presence and absence of the articles which are substitutes to it. सपोज करो आइसक्रीम के अलावा कोई और भी चीजें लाइक सपोज करो फलूदा इज अवेलेबल और रबड़ी इज अवेलेबल एंड यू वांट टू हैव दैट लाइक अ सॉर्ट ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट एज अ स्वीट, देन यू नो योर यूटिलिटी कर्व मे बी डिफरेंट. सो लिमिटेशंस हैं. तो यहाँ पर हमने जो assumptions रखे हैं ओनली ऑन दोज बेसिस वी आर सेइंग दैट मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी ऑफ अ सक्सेसिव यूनिट विल बी डिमिनिशिंग. I hope that is clear. Again, I'm giving the conclusion that utility reflects the tastes of a particular individual, uniqueness to the individual and reflects his or own particular subjective preference and perception. मतलब जो भी एक individual person is like suppose I'll just take two examples, दक्ष और शिवी. Like दक्ष को कितना preference या preference है एप्पल के लिए या उसको कितना utility उससे मिल रही है, that will be different from शिवी what she is consuming. और so जो preference and perceptions होता है वो every individual का different होता है. Now the utility remain unchanged so long as individual's tastes remain the same. So जैसे utility unchanged रहेगी, individual की taste and preferences भी same रहेंगी. Now we will just talk about ordinal and cardinal approach here. and I will not go ahead with this. I will deal with your questions then. बस यहाँ पर आप ये समझ लीजिए, like in order to attain the objective of the consumer must be able to compare the utility. So cardinal approach क्या है? Cardinal approach में हम बोल रहे हैं whatever the money I'm giving for this one apple, like suppose I gave 10 rupees for this apple, so I'm getting the 10 rupees of utility from it. बट इन ऑर्डिनल अप्रोच, जब हम ऑर्डिनल कहते हैं तो हम ये नहीं कहते कि वन एप्पल से हमें नंबर ऑफ सेटिस्फेक्शन मिल रहा है, इतना नंबर, वी डोंट गिव इट अ नंबर, वी जस्ट से दैट इज लाइक वन एप्पल इज प्रेफर्ड or preferred than the oranges or than banana, so we are just giving the order, we are just ranking it. So cardinal approach mein we are saying that this much of number of utility we are getting from this, but in ordinal approach we are just comparing. So now जो ordinal approach है, just see that, या ऐसे करते हैं, इसको हम बाद में देखते हैं ordinal and cardinal approach को. Cardinal we had seen, we are giving it a number, means cardinal means numbers give कर रहे हैं, ordinal means we are just giving a order that this is better than this, or it is like preferable than this one. Okay, whatever the x and y come with. So I hope till now I'll just teach you till here. एक बार आपके मैं questions देख लेती हूँ. If you have till now everything is clear, right? Just write it down over here. Group link अभी मैंने भेजा. Difference between babbling and snob effect. Babbling में मैंने बताया था कि it's a luxury item like Rolls Royce car and all. Like जैसे luxury items, or maybe you are watching a Rolex watch, that is a babbling good. Like maybe any other people are also purchasing जो भी afford कर सकते हैं, but जैसे जैसे उनका prices बढ़ जाएगा, that is you are showing it off. But snob effect का meaning है you want to be unique. You don't want to purchase a Rolex over there. You want to wear the antique watch जो कि कभी किसी ज़माने में बहुत पुरानी वॉच किसी ने पहनी थी, very unique. It is giving you much more satisfaction than the Rolex. So that is a snob effect. Means snob में हम क्या चीज़ चाह रहे हैं? We want to have some very unique commodity. But in babbling, that is very luxury commodity. I hope that is clear. I think after March only. Ma'am, please send the group link. Ma'am, I'm unable to join in Teams. I'm so sorry. Why? I don't know that. Ma'am, आपने PPT share की है? Yes. Tejaswini, I had shared PPTs, 4 PPTs I have shared. If I wrote, for the scrolling, like I will share it again if you don't find it. But I have already shared. You just find the chats. 4 PPTs I have shared. Yes, sir. PPT is not visible. Reading the PPT or not my PPTs? Why does your PC lag so much? It is very old. Why does your PC lags? No, it's not about my computer. It's about the data I have on computer, and Microsoft Team. This software demands a lot of space, and that space I don't have. So I have to actually separate all the data from here, format it, and then just for this Microsoft Team. I don't want to keep my data in some other hard drive or something. So this is very heavy software, guys. Otherwise. So that's why it is not about my PC lags. It's about maybe it needs formatting. Ma'am, please send all the PPT one more time. Okay, dear, I will do that. Screen not show. Showing you, ma'am, आपने अभी की कोई PPT share किया? Yes, I had Tejaswini. I had shared 4 PPTs: theory of demand, theory of supply, elasticity of demand, and elasticity of supply. I have shared 4 PPTs. Thank you भी मैं share कर दूँगी, और whatever your syllabus also I will share. Fine क्यों नहीं हो रहा है group में? What is hypothesis? Hypothesis means we are actually assuming something. Assuming. So it is not, we are not sure about it. We are just making an idea that maybe it can happen. So hypothesis is just a sort of assumptions we are making in our mind. But we have to test it. Like ये है चीज़ या नहीं है. But first we are just making it as an assumption. So, like suppose करो मैं एक hypothesis बनाती हूँ कि अभी right now जो 139 attendees हैं, उनमें से more than 50% have more than 5% of height, like 5 feet of height. So this is my hypothesis. अब मैं इसको टेस्ट करूँगी, अब मैं इसको देखूँगी सच में ऐसा है या नहीं है. Like everybody की, like I'll just calculate everybody's height, or I'll ask you to tell me your height, like 139 attendees. Then I will test my hypothesis, was I right or not. So that means I'm just making an idea that needs not to be correct. ये भी हो सकता है. Okay, welcome. Anonymous people, write down your name. Bhavna, everything is clear till now, ma'am. Thank you. You guys are clear. Obviously, my half work is done. And there's what? Please again the group link, ma'am. Okay, I'll yes, ma'am. I can't find it. Okay, you cannot see it. I can see your PPT. I will do it again. No worry. Can you please share it again? Yes, dear. I will do it, ma'am. English का group है क्या? I don't know, this is English group. It's like English as a subject English. I don't know about that. welcome Muskan. Please explain ordinal and cardinal. Ordinal means we are just giving orders, like rank दे रहे हैं. ये चीज इससे ज़्यादा better है. I'm not saying कि numbers नहीं दे रहे हैं. Cardinal में I'm just like whatever I am paying for a one product, I'm getting that much of utility. Like एक आइसक्रीम मैंने 5 रुपए में खरीदी तो I am just having piece of utility from ice cream. That is cardinal approach. And when in ordinal approach में I'm just giving more satisfaction from ice cream than apple or than water. Like just I'm ranking it. कि कहाँ से मुझे ज़्यादा satisfaction आ रहा है. We will go for like ordinal approach later, मतलब अभी next class में परसों. Those PPTs are unable to download. Why? Okay, just try it. भावना, if you had found it, so आप उसी को share करके देखो दोबारा group पर, because मैं upload कर चुकी हूँ अपने site से. Ma'am, I'm not in the WhatsApp group. Please, ma'am, add me. Himanshu, there is no WhatsApp group, baby. I'm really sorry. Just a team group. Ma'am, I'm not in a WhatsApp group. Himanshu. PPT नहीं मिल रही है. Don't worry, मैं दोबारा PPT share कर दूँगी. कितनी बार लिखा है हिमांशु आपने? I don't open it, shows a private group and request to join. It did not open it. Why? Because anonymous. Just join with the SOL ID, guys. Okay? आपका जो भी ID SOL से associated है उसी से join करेगा. I think उसी में allow करेगा. Otherwise it won't allow you to. So whoever is anonymous, I think yeah, 5 minutes left. So आज का PPT भी share कर दीजिए. Yes, I will do that. अच्छा, whoever is found the PPT, Vishaka, if you had found the PPT till now, so just share it again over there, okay? Like आप ही share कर दो अपना site से if you had found it. I'm not in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Guys, this is an economic group. यही economic group है तान्या. Like मैंने share किया. मैं एक बार link और paste कर रही हूँ. Okay, this is the group. Please join. Please अपनी team ID से join कीजिएगा. Because if you will try to join from some other ID, it won't help you. Like it won't happen. So please try to join from SOL ID. So till now, bye. I will try to share the PPTs again. I will try to share MenQ. I will try to share whatever the syllabus you have. Okay, guys. Take care. Take care for now. Bye. Bye, guys.